This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Ryfun. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome to the first episode of Cinema Debrief. This is our journey through cinema here. I'm joined alongside my co-host, Mikey, Sir Michael Nipp. Whatever.
Yes, man, I had to get the cobwebs off the microphone, but I am overly excited, like exuberant almost, to be recording a podcast again and talking about my favorite thing in the world, which is movies. Talking about movies with one of my best buds, Garrison, and just super excited to do this cinematic journey, if you will. I think that we're both going to be doing a couple of interesting things that, as physical media collectors, what happens a lot with physical media collectors is we buy movies that we never watch.
We call those blind buys.
And both of us have many blind buys. I thought about just starting in what is called like my catalog collection. And when I say catalog films, those are just like, you know, top 40 movies that everybody wants to own. And maybe for some reason I hadn't seen them. But I thought for my beginning as we go through this journey, I think I'm going to go through all my boutiques. Okay. Because I actually have more boutiques. And as a physical media collector, when we say boutiques, these are movies that sometimes the studios will license out to these smaller labels like Criterion. That's the most popular one that everybody's heard of. So I've got a lot of those in my boutique section that I just haven't watched before because I just blind buy them when they go on sale. And so I've got one in mind that I'm going to start with. We'll get into how we're going to do that later. But Garrison, what are your thoughts for what this magic podcast is going to be?
Well, you know, I have been spending a lot of time watching cinema the last 5-6 years, really. I mean, a lot of time. And so, you know, I've always kind of wanted an outlet to talk about just kind of the films I enjoy and the films I enjoy that I'm seeing in the modern age, too. So I wanted this podcast to be a kind of an all-encompassing podcast in a way.
Yeah,
where
definitely.
We could talk about new cinema, as we're doing this week with Avatar Fire and Ash.
Exactly.
Or we could talk about old cinema when we get to things like Tales from the Shelf, when we talk about our boutique picks, potentially.
Yes. Yeah, no, I mean, because there's not every week, as all movie fans know, it's not every week that a movie is coming out into the theaters that you actually want to go see. Yeah. There are a lot of dead weeks throughout the years.
Absolutely.
And so we'll intersperse, you know, the shelf picks with new movies. Sometimes we'll talk about both. I mean, it's going to be a good mixture of everything.
Yeah. And even look, sometimes if we don't have a movie that week, you know, maybe we can have a little mini discussion here or there, just something big news that's happened, that kind of thing. Netflix and Warner Brothers could be a one of those things if it happened around one of those weeks that, you know, we were there. But yeah. We can definitely have movie news stuff going on. The main thing is, I think for both of us, just getting behind microphones again and talking about movies is just something that I have really missed the last 3 months, like more than I thought I was going to miss. And so this is going to be a great outlet for me to continue to talk about movies. And Garrison, coming along this journey is going to be really fun with you. And I think the good thing, I think the listeners are going to hear a lot of familiar voices that could come on as guests that you know were on my previous podcast, and so it's almost going to be like a warm blanket for everybody, especially in our Discord. The Discord is still running strong. Yep.
And so we don't necessarily, I don't know if Garrison has set up an email address yet for Cinema Debrief,
yes,
but we'll get to,
it's Cinema Debrief podcast at gmail.com.
Well, there you go. That's easy enough.
Mouthful, but it's there.
No, that works. Cinema Debrief podcast at gmail.com.
Well,
and you can,
let me verify that. But yeah, I think that's what it is.
That works. So let's dive in. Like, you had a couple of topics that you wanted to talk about, and then we'll dive into Avatar.
So Netflix buying Warner Brothers, I did want to touch on this because we did promise people who were going to be listening to the first episode that we'd talk about this. I don't want to go on for a whole hour. Like, the day that it happened, I could have done probably 3 hours on that. Just ranting. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of anybody buying Warner Brothers, to be honest with you.
That's the ideal. Yeah.
If anybody had to in Hollywood, Apple might have been the best choice to me, because at least, they don't have a giant studio right now, and they could kind of still keep things going, and they seem to like theatrical sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm better with them than Netflix, but yeah, I see Netflix as a bad sign for the theatrical business in the long term. Right now, it'll be fine. They'll keep their contracts until, like, they've got them set till 2030.
Yeah.
But to me, I see it as a bad sign in the long term for theaters.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about it today. I mean, the thing that happens with consolidation, and I think this is in any industry, but it's just less options for your creators to have distribution. And so if you're combining such a big studio as Warner Brothers and all their distribution abilities with Netflix, it's just going to be less distribution, even though Ted Sarandos is saying everything that he knows people want to hear him say, which is, we're going to keep Warner Brothers by itself. We're going to let them distribute as they currently do. The reason that we're interested in Warner Brothers in general is because we're not in the theatrical business. This would put us in the theatrical business. So yes, he is saying all of the right things. But
I have been a part of a company that got bought by a gigantic corporation.
Yep.
And they kept things pretty much the same for about 5 years.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden they downsized really hard.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, I believe that at first they will stick to their promises. And they may try to shorten windows here or there, but I think that they'll try to stick to theaters and try to keep Warner Brothers. But I fear for 2030 and beyond, and what the state of cinema looks like.
And I'm already not a huge fan of Sarandos anyways. I mean, his idea of releasing things in theaters just to get, the Oscar eligibility. And then this week, the trades are reporting that he basically strong-armed Zaslav and said, we're walking away from the deal unless you sign it right here and now.
Over their game of pickleball.
Over what? Yeah, exactly. I think Variety and Hollywood Reporter both, were reporting that happened, which sounds like something out of Succession, but it was real life. And so I guess Zaslav felt like he had to go ahead and sign the dotted line right then and there, without maybe taking into account that his shareholders might want to continue to hear from Paramount, which is why Paramount.
I don't know that I want Paramount personally owning.
Right. I think that would be even worse consolidation, obviously.
Yeah, it probably would be for the theatrical space in some ways too.
No, you're right.
Almost immediately. They would consolidate it into one studio, most likely. And look, we don't know how Ellison's going to run a studio. We don't know how well it's going to go. So that's not, I think actually, as much as people want to dog on him for many different reasons, I think this year showed that Zaslav let the guys who were supposed to run the studio, and they ran it well this year.
Yeah. Oh, no, I totally believe that. Yeah.
Maybe one failure outright.
Yeah.
Maybe 17.
Which who would have thought in a million years that would have been a huge failure, but it was.
So from a financial standpoint, Zaslav has done, I think, a good job. There are, of course, artistic things that people don't like, and some of the, shelving some films that are already made. I totally get it. I don't love that stuff, but I don't
think we needed Bad Girl. I don't think we needed it. Look, I was okay with that particular.
I would be so interested to see that film now because of how bizarro it would feel, because it. Not to get too hard on that discussion, but it is a Batgirl film set in the DCEU before they changed some things around, and it's got Keaton still as Batman because he was supposed to stay as Batman at the end of Flash, and it's just all kinds of bizarre stuff that they were going to do, and just be kind of an interesting time capsule almost to open up in however many years we actually get it, because at some point it will come out.
I hope so, in a way that it comes out somehow. But I mean, because I did like the guys that were attached to it, Adil and Bilal. I like those guys. Yeah,
they're good directors.
They seem to be good directors. Yeah, I mean, they've done with the Bad Boys stuff. I mean, they've given us some fun rides. I mean, they're good at action sequences and
let's be honest about superhero cinema. At least at the time, you get the script you're given, and you kind of have to make the movie that the studio wants. So, I think they could have done some great action stuff, is what I'll say.
No, I totally agree.
I'm going to leave this discussion off with just one quote that I feel is important. I've seen other people bring it up, but this is from Michael O'Leary, president and CEO of Cinema United, which is formerly NATO, which was like the National Association of Theater Owners or whatever.
Right. Yeah. They've got a different name. They've got a different name now, but that's right.
He said research shows that for each dollar spent in a local movie theater, an additional $1.50 is spent in surrounding businesses in the community, restaurants, bars, shopping centers, transportation. That is what is at risk here if we sanction fewer movies in the marketplace. Theaters will close, communities will suffer, and jobs will be lost. I mean, it's just another thing that people lose to go out and do in this age of everything becoming digital.
Look, I know for Rhett and Dr. Earl and myself, we're keeping Rock and Roll Sushi open by our IMAX theater. Like, we're the only people that ever go to that restaurant. And
that's awesome.
And we literally, every time we go see a movie, it's Rock and Roll Sushi, unless you're Avatar and you start at 6:00 because you're 3 hours and 15 minutes long unnecessarily. I'll put it at that. But I mean, we were all starving by the end of that movie. And unfortunately, Rock and Roll Sushi had closed, so we had to slum it at Waffle House, which it's not bad. Waffle House is fine. But the tradition of Rock and Roll Sushi was broken by James Cameron. Yeah. So, no, I totally agree with that quote, though, because in general, a movie theater will bring money to all the restaurants, coffee houses, any ice cream shops, like anything and everything around the movie theater will also get patronage because of the movies. I mean, it's just that's ideal. That's what you want. And consolidation will hurt that because it's just less output. And therefore theaters have to close. And
there's going to be less competition, less incentive to make better films. It's just, it might become a really sad reality at a certain point.
Exactly. And we don't want that. We want to be able to continue with Cinema Debrief to episode 698. And so
why not 700? Just,
I for some reason I have this opposition to the number 700. So I'm saying 698. That's my goal, is 698.
Okay.
You might be able to talk me into 699. Well, but that's pretty close to 700. So
yeah,
I that's like an evil number to me. So I can't get to 700.
We'll discuss this in like 13 and a half years. So
exactly, because it will take us that long. Garrison and I haven't even discussed how often we're going to do this. I assume weekly, but Garrison and I didn't really even discuss it.
I think I said at the beginning of the maybe I didn't actually, because
we'll just figure it out.
It's weekly. We're gonna do.
We're gonna be releasing this hourly. It's gonna be a podcast every hour of every
real
day.
Time. It's like 24 with Jack Bauer.
24, exactly.
Well, let's get to our Avatar Fire and Ash discussion, I think, and since you brought it up in the pre-show, I think I'll have to add this to it as well. But let's first talk about the Doomsday trailer.
Oh yeah,
so we got our first of 4 Doomsday teasers.
Okay, let's stop right there. Okay. Do we like that idea? Do we think this is a good marketing idea?
I think, to be honest with you, they should have just combined them into one. They should have taken the 4 teasers and combined them into one. And then
combine the best things of all 4.
Yeah.
Because obviously you don't want to have like a 5-minute trailer. You want it to be, within 2 minutes, 23 seconds, whatever, around that time. I think
the ending moment should have been that tilt up to to Steve Rogers at the end of a normal trailer, where you're like, wait a minute, whoa, Steve is back? What's that about?
And I gave you a hard time that people were clapping in your theater. I don't recall anyone clapping, but I do recall people, because Gen Pop, they're not obsessed with this stuff like you and I are, so they're not on the internet all the time and know all the This lady behind me did gasp, like, whoa, Steve Rogers, like she was excited. It was an excited,
and that's what Disney wants.
That's what Disney wants. Yeah, exactly. Even though the trailer itself had little to no substance that I could get out of it, other than obviously the baby's going to be important.
Well, we know that Steve is we know that Steve is back in time with Peggy. We don't know what year exactly necessarily. He's got a kid. So this isn't too far post Endgame, I would think. He looks about the same age because it's 6 years later. So.
I didn't pay attention enough, and I guess I should have, to the bike. Like, maybe that would have told us the year because of
it's a Triumph bike. I'm not familiar with those.
Yeah, I mean, that company's been around forever, as long as Harley Davidson, if not longer. Okay. But I did not pay attention to the model of the Triumph, so
it might have
impossible to tell what year it was.
Yeah, I enjoyed it in the theater. When I saw it leaked on Monday, when I saw the leaked copy, I'll be honest, I was like, awesome that it's been confirmed, because we pay attention. We know that, first off, he's been in discussions, according to Justin Kroll with The Hollywood Reporter, since 2021, early 2021, to come back and reprise the role. So this is something they've been talking about for a long time. And then credit to Humberto Gonzalez, who broke that it was actually in Doomsday, that the trades then reported on at the same time as Humberto with the rap. So, last year, that was last December.
Are you talking about El Mayimbe?
Yes, I think so.
That's what he used to go by, as El Mayimbe, but it's Humberto Gonzalez. Yeah.
Yes, he does a good job with the rap in terms of breaking.
Oh, he's been around that guy has been around forever.
Yeah.
Like El Mayimbe is Ain't It Cool News Days. Like that guy's been around for a long time.
And those guys have spread around the industry in different ways.
Yes, they have. Different ways.
Some of them are writing movies and
screenwriters. Yep, exactly. Exactly.
But so it's cool to see some footage of Steve. I'm interested to see what these next 3 trailers are. Supposedly next week's is a character that we already know, potentially.
I guess we don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, we know who. I think I know at least who 2 more of them are. I don't know if I know the 4th one.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone has actually come forward. Incredible information on.
Now the thing that some people were saying is that there's actually going to be a 5th trailer combining all 4 in a way.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I mean, my whole thing is I'm not going to take the time to go to the theater to see all 4 of these. I'll just wait for the leaks to go online, or wait for you to send me the link.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, how do I time this up so that I can watch a movie, go to see a movie, but then before the movie, I can sneak into the Avatar theater and catch the new teaser every week.
Now, here's the thing that's interesting about this first trailer that a lot of people online were complaining about, that it was unreliable if you were actually going to even get to see the trailer. And it didn't seem to be attached to any particular format. So I saw it in IMAX. You saw it in whatever your large format. GTX, and we both got the trailer.
Yeah.
But apparently some other large formats did not get that trailer, which I found interesting.
A lot of it, so from what I read online, and I was worried because when you sent me in a note initially and were like, the trailer's done, it didn't play.
AMC tricked us, yeah. They played not only the AMC, if you're an AMC goer, you know that they do the stupid dance thing for the Coca-Cola commercial. And then they even did the Nicole Kidman thing, and then had the trailer after that, which was really surprising. Like, that's the first time, at least that Rhett, Dr. Earl, and myself could remember them doing something like that.
But I'm in some discords with some Marvel people, and I was just kind of gauging some reactions to them going to see Avatar: Fire and Ash and the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was looking through it, and a lot of people in other countries were saying that their cinemas didn't get the trailer.
Right.
And I think to the counter and saying, where was the trailer?
And maybe that's it. Like the one thing that I saw was a guy in England said they didn't get it. So maybe it was just international folks didn't get it.
Well, but I know, but that's the weird thing. I found a guy in France in one of those Discords that got it, and it was in French. Like the Steve Rogers Will Return was in French.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Okay. I think I don't know if it's on the theater owners themselves or if it's on Disney on that end, or one of their
Well, it's always on the theaters. The theaters are the ones that choose what trailers to put.
Yeah, and they might have messed up on that regard.
They might have, yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Let's talk about the trailer itself.
Yeah.
So, really, all it was Steve on his motorcycle riding up to the house. I assume
it's the same. Looks like the same house at the end of.
I would assume it's the same house. It's got to be. So we know that the last we saw of that house, we saw he and Peggy dancing in the window.
Great.
Which was, gosh, that was so awesome. So obviously this is at least 9 months after that. We don't know timeline, but there's a baby now.
They got busy fast, apparently.
Yeah, they could have. They could have gotten busy fast, and had themselves a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know the comics well enough to know who this baby could be. But the list seems pretty endless in all honesty.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing. The last time I am aware of any kind of Marvel media with a Steve Rogers child, and I'm not a Marvel Comics nerd like some other people. I'm much more of a DC Comics nerd. But there was a movie in 2008 that came out, was an animated film called Next Avengers: Heroes of Tomorrow. And in that one, he has a son that has a kind of different looking shield, but it's a shield as well.
Interesting.
And those are there's a bunch of children of characters in those movies. They're like all children's of past superheroes that you know. And I can't remember who he had his son with, but
I'm sure that there's got to, or it could be maybe they're going to surprise us.
And if it is a similar character, he names his son James in Next Avengers, which I think would be a very fitting name to name him after James Buchanan Barnes. It's one of his best friends.
Yeah.
You know, he lost him for a good period of time. It just makes total sense. So
totally.
I'd love it if they did that. They adapted that portion of it, but
so the rumor.
I enjoyed teaser one, but.
I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, obviously they started the clock at the end of it. The 12
I
month
like
clock.
that logo. That
I do too.
Window. I don't know what's going on with it, but I like it.
Wild. I'm sure that there's some stuff if you screenshot it and analyzed it, because the Russos are big into that type of thing. That we could figure out, what that was, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. The rumor of the second trailer, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, that it's probably Thor.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Yeah.
And the rumor of what happens in that trailer involves his daughter.
Well, it involves him praying to Odin, hoping to get home to his love, and love is the name of his daughter.
Love is the name of the daughter.
Because his actual love, if we're saying it that way, is dead and in Valhalla. So
yeah, so it can't be that. It's got to be his daughter, Love.
Yeah.
So interesting. But anyways, I mean, I'll watch the trailers, obviously, but some of it just felt a little underwhelming to me. But maybe there is, for lack of a better term, maybe there's an end game to this.
And look, we're a year out. I mean, most movies don't start their press this early.
No.
This was a hey, we've got an Avatar film. Let's just attach something move to me. And that makes total sense at the end of the day. Like, hey, Avatar is one of the biggest franchises that we have. Let's put some Avengers teases in front of it.
So on average, I would say most Marvel films have a teaser and 2 trailers, in addition to TV spots, right? So, I mean, we're going to get, 2 full trailers after this.
Yeah.
That will be more traditional in scope. That won't be this kind of here's 4 different things that you're getting.
Yeah.
Go see Avatar, please, 4 more times. And no, absolutely not. Absolutely
I'll tell you this. I am not going to see Avatar any more times.
I'm not either. No,
I'll
I
delay
won't.
the Avatar discussions for one more second because
do it.
do want to talk about the Odyssey prologue and the Odyssey trailer.
Oh, it was good.
Did you guys get the Odyssey trailer?
We got the prologue.
Okay.
So we got the Trojan horse sequence. And it was just freaking the thing that Nolan does so well in all of his films is the building of tension.
Yes.
And that is exactly what this did. Just like you could viscerally feel the heat of inside the horse. There was this dripping sweat, the anticipation like of the battle that's coming because those guys have to wait till nightfall. And so, yeah, dude, it was so freaking awesome. And there was a lot of people that were pretty hyped with that prologue.
It's an awesome prologue. I've only had to watch a cam of it.
Yeah, you didn't get the theatrical experience yet.
And it's still, I mean, I still felt the tension. I felt everything with that scene that he wants you to feel. It makes me want to go drive the hour it takes to go to the IMAX.
Right. Yeah.
But I also don't want to see Avatar again.
No, I mean, I guess you could pay just to see. I mean, paying that price for just a 6-minute prologue. Yeah. Or I guess if you waited, you could at least justify it by saying that you're going to see the second. Like wait till next week. Like
I'm thinking about that actually.
Yeah, like to justify it by seeing the second Doomsday trailer plus the prologue. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But no, and I do one step back. I forgot to say the thing that I did not like, and this was no fault of the trailer itself as far as Doomsday is concerned, but we were forced to watch it in 3D because we were seeing IMAX 3D of Avatar. And yeah, the Odyssey prologue was not in 3D, which was a godsend. But and I wonder if that is what. Well, no, because we were forced to watch the Mercy trailer in 3D as well. Which God, that movie looks bad.
Well, Mercy is specifically geared towards every single trailer that plays it's in 3D is a part of it. So like it's like a huge selling point for that film.
Well, it shouldn't be. That movie looks anyways, but I mean, I'll go see it, but it just looks pretty milquetoast. But yeah, no, I loved that freaking Odyssey prologue. It was great. The who does the score for the movie?
Garrison. So yeah.
Oh, interesting. Huh. It felt pretty straightforward for a Garrison score.
Well, that's the interesting thing. So we're talking about the Odyssey, right?
We are. I
thought the prologue sounded like Dunkirk.
Yeah.
It's the ratcheting up tension.
Yes.
That playing with the musical sound as well to make it sound like the note is going up, but it's actually both going up and down. It kind of sounded similar to the way that that Zimmer and his crew, because it's also his crew that was involved in that, did the Dunkirk score. And
wonder why he chose to work with Garrison. That's interesting because he's just non-traditional.
That's his new guy.
He did the last score?
Oppenheimer?
He did the Oppenheimer score?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That was a good. That was sort of a unique score too. That wasn't a very straightforward thing. Also,
and he had this violin part.
Yeah.
In that score, it was intriguing.
Okay.
It was interesting.
That's an interesting pairing. I'm jazzed for it.
To me, I think he's a good fit because to me he's kind of new age Zimmer.
He is, yeah.
He's very similar they both do very percussive driving scores.
Yeah,
but his sounds a little more modern than Zimmer's does right now.
Because he likes to play with all the crazy instruments, and we got to see all that behind the scenes stuff that he did when he was working on The Mandalorian.
Oh man, and
that big wall of just crazy different sound things that he was working with.
You learn about the way he was doing some of the scoring for Tenet, where first off it was COVID, so they were having to do each instrument recorded individually all at their own houses, and then he was taking the music and doing it forwards and backwards because it was Tenet. I mean, it's just I like him. I like him a lot, but
no, I do too. I just thought for a movie like The Odyssey,
that you would almost want to go
like
more
grand,
for lack of John Williams, I guess, or a James Horner or something, Thomas Newman
or something.
Yeah, like just something more. But Göransson, I mean, he has obviously the talent and capability to do pretty much anything. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you do decide to pull the trigger and go up and see it in IMAX, because it does play a lot better than on your cell phone or laptop. So
I get it. Well, I watched it on my iPad, so you know.
Well, you're right. That's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger.
Gigantic.
Yeah. That is a huge, massive screen. You're right. It's like you're watching it on an old CRT.
Well, speaking of big screens, let's talk about the movie we're here for.
So when you say you saw it on your format, did you see it in 3D or no?
No. So we have the options we have here in little old Brunswick, Georgia, are GTX, which is a giant theater with a giant screen, which shows things in whatever the normal aspect ratio is. So it doesn't get any special aspect ratios, but you do get Atmos sound. So it's a big giant theater that shows things normally with Atmos sound. It's like a big D theater at AMC or whatever. Yeah.
No, that's good. No, that's very good. For me, I mean, the Avatar films are the only movies that I will see in 3D. The last movie that I saw in 3D before Fire and Ash was Way of Water. So, I mean, it's not like I will go see anything else in 3D because I hate the format. But James Cameron is pretty much the only director besides maybe Ridley Scott and Prometheus that can utilize the format and just have a depth of field view thing that is just pretty amazing. I mean, he utilizes the technology well.
There's some ways they go about that. I do want to say we do have a 3D theater. We have a Dolby, whatever they call it, Real D 3D theater. It's to me, I don't know if it's because I had a terrible experience the last time I was in there. I saw Spider-Man No Way Home in there last, and there were a bunch of teenagers in there just playing around and talking during the whole film, and I didn't feel like the 3D looked very good that night, so I've just never been back. But
no, that particular format has been around forever, and it's not great. It's like that they don't bother on advancing that technology at all.
And I don't think that I've read in the past before that theaters don't keep up those screens well either, which they
probably not
be doing a better job of. But you know, I mean,
probably not.
We don't have projectionists anymore, so
no, we don't, unfortunately. Yeah, and you know that's always the danger. I mean, having a low bulb or something and not getting to experience it the way it's meant to be experienced. I think at the very least with IMAX, they're required to keep it at a certain level, or IMAX will shut them down or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the 3D experience with James Cameron films. The interesting thing when I was listening to his interview with Matt Bellany on The Town that he did, I don't know, about maybe a month ago now.
Yeah.
It was interesting him talking about, first off, they shoot for 3D. So that that's already in mind. A lot of movies don't shoot for 3D. They do post conversions, and because they do post conversions, it doesn't look great. But it was interesting the way he talked about the way they frame things and shoot things, how they do it, because it kind of sounds like the way people would criticize some other big blockbusters for not really knowing what they're doing when they get down to actually shooting it. Because he'll just kind of change a lot of things in post. He'll change framing in post and all this different stuff. He can, because I mean, so much of it's CG.
It's all pretty much. Yeah.
But it's just kind of interesting hearing him talk about the process there and making these films, and they make these films, and my lord, I don't know how long it's actually taken them to make the last two films, but I mean, it feels like almost a decade of doing whatever they've been developing the technology, then shooting the actors, then actually like 3 years of post for each one. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And it's all done on a soundstage. It's not like there's any location shooting. I mean, because it's all done. They use the volume quite a bit.
Did they?
The most recent interview that I listened to him was with Kevin McCarthy. He started his On Film podcast, and Cameron was talking about using the volume, and they had basically done and this was recently, so it was quite interesting. They had Sam Worthington come in and do a couple of just for exhibitors and podcasts, like influencers, like show how a scene is actually done. So they put the dots on his face for the performance capture, and Cameron invented the particular usage of having that camera right at the face.
Yeah.
So if you've seen any of the behind the scenes footage of Avatar, there's that little camera that's right there with all the dots. So really they're capturing the whole performance. And it's just, it really is them. It's a little bit different than, back in the day with like Polar Express, and it's not quite the same. The technology is so far advanced that it really is them doing the performances. And then, you obviously see them as the Na'vi in the movie, but it's pretty impressive though.
It's so far advanced that when you go back to watch the first movie, I was surprised at how much better the effects look between 2009 and 2022 and 2025. When I was sitting in the theater, I really enjoyed just watching the large CG vistas and all the characters and how detailed they are. I mean, it
is amazing. I mean, the technology is just it's more than technology, because when you hear the word technology, you don't think that there can be anything artistic involved in it. But it's the way that Cameron does it. It's all art using technology.
Yeah.
And so that's what's really impressive to me about what he is envisioned in this universe. I mean, because there's not many guys out there that have the cojones to just create from the ground up their own universe.
Yeah.
There's only been a handful that have successfully done that. Now, whether we are going to say that he sticks the landing in the end on any three, if you're talking about all three of the films, does he stick the landing on building the universe? Yes, obviously he does. Like, he built this universe. It's pretty amazing.
It clearly resonates with people enough because, even if this one underperforms, it's going to make $1 billion at the box office.
Oh yeah. It won't hit 2, but yeah, it'll make it
2, but
it'll make $1 billion. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, the thing that I have a hard time doing, like, if you put, and I'm not using my phone here, I can maybe name 4 characters. Like, maybe. Like, I got Jake, Neytiri, Spider, because that's an easy one, and Quaritch.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
4 I just immediately thought of too.
Like, beyond that, I would have to really think about it. I think that the Sigourney Weaver's character starts with a K.
Yeah.
That's
Kiri,
about it.
I think
Kiri or something like that.
Yeah. I only, just because we're talking about this now, I just pulled Loak out of my
Loak. Okay, so fine. And that's a problem, to be honest.
But it took me until this showing and me going, I got to remember this for the podcast. I remember the son's name.
Well, no, and I
don't remember the other son's name.
No, I don't either. And I specifically didn't want to remember it because if you are really invested in the characters, you should automatically remember every character's name.
Yeah.
Like, if you're super invested in the story, then as a viewer, you should automatically remember everyone. And I just, like, even after 3 movies, I just could care less about anything that happens to anyone. Like, the Spider character, I think, was the most interesting in this one.
Yeah.
Just because he actually had a character arc that between 2 films. And I don't feel like really any of the other characters, other than son, you stay here. I don't want you to come with me. But by the end of the movie, son, I need you to come with me and help me. Like, and that's the lamest character arc ever. I mean, there's just not much there for me.
Let me give you my reaction to this movie. Because I spent all day working. I was the only manager at the place I work at that day. And so I was running around helping people, doing things. It's Thursday night. I go to the theater. I'm exhausted. I'm like on the edge of falling asleep in my seat at points.
And that's not a good. Yeah, that's not good.
But let me tell you, it's the most positive I've ever walked out of an Avatar movie.
Really? Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think maybe, I don't know if it was me being on the edge of exhaustion, or what, but like there was so many battle scenes. There was really good action.
Right.
It was really pretty to look at. I was just like, you know what? This is the best Avatar movie to me, and I felt that way walking out the theater. I'm not saying I think it's perfect. You can look at my rating on Letterboxd of all 3 movies. It's just barely higher than the other 2.
I think that so I think that after seeing Way of Water, I think at the time, almost as a bit, I was saying that this is the best movie ever made. Like because the difference between Way of Water and Fire and Ash is the years that we had to wait between.
Yeah.
So from Avatar to Way of Water, the technology advanced so much that I came out of that movie like shock and awe type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like absolutely amazed at everything on the screen. And because there was less time between these two, I felt like I've seen the best that technology can get.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to be able to advance the technology too much between between 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing, I was prepared mentally for what I was going to visually see.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to make up for that then with story and character. Because the shock and awe of what you're seeing on screen has sort of waned a little bit. And so if you don't make up for the lack of that with your stories and your character and stuff like that, then I'm going to be underwhelmed ultimately. And which is why I came out of it probably a bit underwhelmed, just because I felt like it was a rehash of a lot of stuff that we saw in the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Even the end action sequences were on a big ship like they were on the second one. And so I felt like we had seen some of that before. And so I feel like maybe the witch was an interesting character. I couldn't tell you her character's name. I can't remember it, but they did some interesting things with her character. Her and Quaritch together were pretty good. Like I enjoy
Varang or whatever.
See, I don't know. And just the fact that like you're having to like pronounce these dumb names, like it's really dumb of Cameron to try and go that far with the character name. Like I get it, but I mean it's just I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. I did not expect. So if you know anything about me and the Avatar series, I saw the first one when I was 11, 12, whatever, probably almost 12. And I thought that was neat. It was a neat visual effects showcase. Everyone at the time was already talking about how the story wasn't original, blah, blah, blah. And so,
everybody was like, oh, it's just Dances with Wolves.
They were saying things like that. And I was like, but that was a neat little visual showcase. And then it became the #1 movie of all time. And I think at that point, I did get a little jaded because I was like, it's not that good.
Right. It does much better overseas than it does domestic.
Yeah.
Like it always has.
Domestically, the first one still made like $700 million.
It did
for
well.
2009 was crazy.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're not wrong.
It's like top 5, I think, all time still. Domestic film. I'd have to look it up, but it's up there. And so I think at that point I kind of got a little jaded on the series. When Way of Water came out, I have not seen it since I went to the theater, but I was utterly bored by it. The technology was beautiful.
Yeah.
But the story itself, I'm much more a story guy than anything.
Yeah.
And the story itself was just. You can have a great story, but be on play sets, basically just shooting something, and I'm enthralled.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you.
That I was so long. I was
I don't even remember what the runtime of Way of Water was.
It was like 3 hours, basically. And well, when you get to the end fight, I was like, okay, the end fight's kind of interesting.
It was pretty awesome. At the time, it was pretty awesome.
It was cool.
It reminded you of the James Cameron of old.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just his ability to stage an action sequence. Like he is the master of that.
I came into this going, well, this is another movie I'm going to be bored by. I'm going to this to see 2 trailers, the Odyssey and Doomsday.
Yeah.
And then I'll stay for the movie because we're going to do a podcast on it. But then, like, I don't know, he hits me immediately with a battle scene, and it starts to feel almost like Revenge of the Sith, where you're like, you know, it's like a conclusion to a trilogy, a bunch of fights. It's not as good as Revenge of the Sith, in my opinion. But whoa, what was that?
No, you're probably right. I mean, look, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Okay. But I came out of it going, I'm going to be the guy on the podcast defending Fire and Ash because
you definitely liked it more than I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it a 3, which I have, you know, again, over and over again, a 3 out of 5 is not bad.
No.
That means it's an okay movie. I have to give it props for being the spectacle that it is, and not give it below a 3.
If I do have a criticism, I think there are too many characters in this film.
Yes, God,
because
there's so many.
There's too many characters. That kind of builds off what we were talking about.
I was so glad when the other son died. Like in the last movie, I was like, good, that's one less character for us to worry about. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got the children going off to find the whale that I don't know how to say its name. Starts with a P, but I don't know how to say its name. You've got the adults getting ready for war in kind of both sides of the adults, the sky people and the avatars, and them kind of plotting against each other in both ways. Both are trying to get the upper hand over each one's, and then there are little like kind of mini stories within that. Like you've got the guy who helps Jake break out, but then like that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like there's a way to condense some of this stuff.
Oh yeah, there is at least 30 minutes that they could have taken out of the movie if they really wanted to. I mean, because you basically have within the movie itself, you have 2 sequences of someone getting taken and them having to go, like Spider gets taken, they have to go get Spider. The little girl gets taken, they got to save the little girl. Like within the same movie, you don't need to do that twice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just... And Rhett made a really good point that made it one part that made him super angry is the whole sequence of Jake and Spider. You're not going to have your protagonist murder the kid. You can't build that tension because it's the most ridiculous thing. Like nobody sitting in that movie theater that had a brain actually thought that they were going to show Jake Sully slice Spider's neck. I mean,
don't even really get why we got to that moment. Like I understand the fact that
because
they think
Neytiri wanted to kill him.
Yeah, but then she like is totally not for it at that point.
Exactly. So that's like, when you end that. Like once you don't have to go back to it. Like it's just and
I didn't understand why Loak wanted to kill himself either. But
yeah, I mean, just because his dad was upset with him for a day, I mean, that's just and I think it was just the whole thing where they wanted to have Kira or whatever her name is, and the other girl, the water girl, be like, we want you to be here, don't leave us, we need you. I mean, it was just such wasted. And my problem with it, like, even though James Cameron doesn't think about, like, no filmmaker really thinks about who his audience is totally, but there was a lot of little kids in this movie theater, and having that particular sequence could be a bit traumatizing for a kid to see one of the main characters with a gun to his chin. I mean, in a PG-13 movie, I get it. It's PG-13. It's just like the randomness in James Gunn's Superman of having the guy like shot in the head in the middle. I'm like, can we we just as filmmakers just for 1 second think, you know what? Well, I know that's Gunn,
but
that's him.
He
You're
can't
right.
help himself.
But I was surprised to see that in a James Cameron movie. I'm like, you got to realize there's a bunch of families coming to it's the holidays. Like your movie's coming out. That part really bothered me. I'm like, why are we having a suicide sequence in a movie? I mean, it's just so.
That's why they have that little thing in the credits.
I know. I mean, it's just like, is the only reason they had that movie in the scene so they could have that in the credits? I mean, it's just
because of all the other people that. Yeah. Let's not get too much into that. But
so Quaritch, I liked. I think Quaritch. I think Quaritch had an
interesting character arc in this too.
Yeah.
I think him being torn about his relationship with his son, even though that's not even really Quaritch, it's just, I guess, a clone of Quaritch.
Yeah, no, it's an avatar that his mind has been uploaded into, basically.
Right. Okay.
So that's what his son says. You're not Quaritch, but in a way, I mean, he's got his memories.
Guess,
so
he's got his memories. Yeah.
In some way, he is kind of Quaritch.
So I mean, that did lead to a couple of tension building moments of, will Quaritch let his son die or not? And obviously he didn't. And obviously the character's not really dead. I mean, all we see is him go down into the smoke. And of course, and if you've seen any movie in your life, we didn't see the body. So that character is still alive, obviously.
Yeah.
And I guess we didn't even say if we're going to do spoilers on this, and we are. So.
Oh yeah. I'll put spoilers in the description. May even put it on the title just to be careful.
Okay, good.
But look. When we're going to be discussing films, we're going to have spoilers in those.
Oh yeah. If we're discussing something new,
the first bit of the show, we're not going to have when we talk about just intro stuff, and we'll let you know when we'll get into the movies. And at that point, you're going to have to know to get away.
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't seen it.
And Avatar's a movie you don't even need to waste your time with, anyways. So I mean,
let me get to some things I don't like before I get into the things I do like for the rest of this, because I don't want to just be totally bashing.
No, and I wasn't. I said some things I liked.
No. Yeah. You did. I just wanted to say, I don't remember how I felt about Kiri in Way of Water, but I first off, from a voice acting standpoint, I can't watch a teenage girl with the voice of old Sigourney Weaver. It did not work at all in this movie.
It didn't work.
I can't remember how I felt about it in Way of Water. I don't know if I felt like it worked or not, but it did not work here.
So let's think about it. Say she actually did the voice work for Way of Water a couple of years before it actually came out. I mean, that's maybe 7 years younger then. Yeah. So I mean, maybe that's a big enough difference where it just didn't register. But this time it registered.
Too much
it registered this time for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it sounds too much like an old lady playing.
No, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
She's trying, and Sigourney Weaver's great. I love Sigourney Weaver. I liked seeing her at the end, in the little afterlife sequence, which is almost like Avatar, the animated series, or like Black Panther with their afterlife stuff. But the other thing that I didn't like was just some of the stilted dialogue that this movie has.
The script is weak.
I feel like, and there's some just dialogue where it's like teenagers, how they're talking in it, and I'm like,
hey bro,
Jim, maybe you need a better screenwriter
or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The spider character annoyed me quite a bit with his use of tame profanity. It wasn't like bad profanity. It's like he's not dropping the F-bomb or anything, but that character's use of profanity throughout the film just got so annoying to me. I'm like, that is just, some of it was so pointless. I mean, I get it. But where did that character, think about that guy's life. Where did he learn that profanity? I mean, because I guess he was around his dad.
Yeah, I don't think we should talk about or think about too much where
we probably
why everyone talks like they're from the early mid 2000s.
Yeah, you're right. We're probably right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that did wake me up was that Jim Cameron as one of the doctors of one of the surgery scenes.
I don't know. It didn't register with me.
There was a guy who at least looked a lot like him that I was kind of in that midst of being and then all of a sudden
he said specifically in that Kevin McCarthy interview that he is definitely not an actor, and I have never seen him put himself in his movies. So I don't know that was him. Maybe it was a guy that looked just like a lot like him. But
yeah, it looked so much like him that I just kind of jolted up and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be just a cute little cool cameo of him doing surgery or whatever.
Right.
I wouldn't. That's not something that's bothers me.
Yeah, no, I didn't remember that.
But yeah, Jim doesn't really do that in his films.
No, I've never seen him do that. In fact,
he's not Alfred Hitchcock or
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan, yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of there's other directors that do it as well. Scorsese's done it before. Spike Lee has done it before. But anyways, yeah. So what did you ultimately? I know you don't do the rankings thing on Letterboxd that often, but would you say you would give it more than a 3?
I give it a 3.5.
Oh, you did end up going. Sometimes I don't see your star ratings.
I didn't give it a 3.5 with a heart, which would be a higher 7 for me. But I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
Because look, I've got my own system. Anytime it's a heart, that means I like it, and I like it more than general what I'm ranking it. So.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, for some reason I didn't notice that you'd put. I meant to check right before the show what you'd end up giving it, but yeah, I mean,
I just all the battle I just had a lot more fun with this movie than I had.
No, as far as action sequences were concerned, it's like. I mean, home run. There's nothing more that you can say about it at a home run, but I just still could care less about like what happened to anybody. Like maybe except for the smallest kid. Like I didn't want her to necessarily suffer in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if any of the other characters died, like I just don't know that it would have affected me at all.
I didn't love the fact that Kiri kind of becomes. I don't know.
Seems like
she could just solve the problem by herself by talking to the mother, and almost Deus Ex Machina to just come in with all the animals. And I'm not a big fan of that personally.
No, I mean I think that the spiritual aspect of it is I didn't dig any of that stuff. I mean I understand what he was doing with it, but I just none of it really worked well for me. I thought that the sequence between the witch and Quaritch where she drugs him was pretty funny.
Yeah.
The psychedelic sequence. But I think that there was different things that he could have done with her, with that character, which, I mean, spoiler alert, she's not dead either. So she survived whatever happened.
Yep.
So if there is a fourth one, which... Gosh, the more interviews James does, the less sounds like he's interested in doing another one, but we'll see. I mean, money talks, and if Disney wants another one, another $1 billion film, they've almost got to like give Cameron whatever money he wants to do another one.
And if I were Disney, I'd wait to see what this does. And
well, it's like I think that everyone knows that it's not going to do $2 billion. I think all the Disney people know it's not going to do $2 billion. It's already like you can tell if it only makes 90 domestic this weekend, which is what it's tracking at.
Yeah.
It's not, no, we're not getting there. I mean,
yeah, I think the last one opened at 116.
Yes.
But it opened strong everywhere.
Yeah. Now, it's got like
had
4
legs.
It's got the ability to do great legs. There's not going to be any competition until maybe March.
I think it will have great legs, but the thing is, so like someone was pointing out, if it does Way of Water's legs, it would only get to like 460 domestic, which is still great. I mean, 460 domestic is awesome. It may be the number 1 of the year domestic wise.
Probably, yeah.
But it's just not where the standard has been for Avatar. So
no, definitely not where the standard has been, and it would give Cameron an out.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost sounds like he made a trilogy. He created his own universe. Not many filmmakers. I mean, obviously, we can say George Lucas did it successfully.
Yeah.
But that list is very short.
And it'll make $1 billion still. I mean,
it'll still make $1 billion, which that's nothing to scoff at when you've got 15% less people going to movies nowadays. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, I think that. Even if it does say 1.5, it's still a huge win.
Yeah.
And if anybody comes and says that because it didn't do $2 billion, that's not a win, they're dumb. I mean,
at the end of the day too, it's also a win for theaters. As much,
it's bringing people.
It's just whatever extra helps.
But
I mean, this weekend, by the way, I do want to point out.
Yeah.
Avatar is going to do 90 most likely, but Housemaid and David are going to do 20 plus.
Exactly. And that's what I was about to say. There was a bit more competition this first weekend than I think that they were anticipating.
Yeah.
I mean, because Zootopia 2 still pulling good numbers.
Yep.
Housemaid doing way better than anybody thought it would. David, I guess if you were smart, you could have guessed that was probably going to do well.
Good timing for that release.
It's good timing for that movie, faith-based film, and apparently it's a unique take on the story. And so it was interesting enough for people to want to go see that. And it's animated, so families, automatically can go see that. And so I think it did have a bit more competition than maybe Disney was anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
But the next several weeks, it's all the Oscar bait films that will be getting wider releases. There's a couple of things coming, but really it doesn't have much competition the next several weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how Marty Supreme does next week, just in that general race.
It already broke records.
Because
like
Timmy
this week.
I mean, Timmy is going out of his way to market the heck out of this film.
I'm seeing it.
Also, a very expensive film for A24 too.
Well, oh, was it? I didn't realize that. I'm seeing it on the 27th, I believe. That's the earliest I can get out there. I know a lot of families go to movies on Christmas Day. My family's never been a Christmas Day go to the movies family, and so I will probably wait till. Well, I know I'm going Saturday morning. I'm trying to see a double feature on Saturday, and then I guess maybe we're going to do a show Saturday night. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a $70 million budget, which for A24
that's
is I think
way higher.
Yeah.
Where's the budget coming from on that?
Well, I'm sure Timmy probably takes some of that. But
he can't be more than what 10?
I don't know.
That's
yeah. We'll see. I mean,
crazy.
We'll have to see the movie before we judge.
Yeah. I didn't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they're going all out on this marketing campaign.
Well, no doubt. Yeah.
And I think Timmy's done a good job. I
think so too.
Say today that he lost the Oscar race because of a little rap video he put out. But
that's no. I did see it because I'm on track with the S-Key Kid thing. I was like, okay, what's he gonna do? Because he was saying in interviews before, all will be revealed soon. Yeah. And then to do the team up with S-Key Kid was pretty funny. I thought that was great marketing.
Yeah.
He's marketing to the people that he knows are going to go see his movies. And I'm all for the way it's been marketed. I think it's done well.
And someone, I have to find the link, but someone put out a report. I can't remember, someone like Forbes or one of those types of sites put out an article talking about how Gen Z saw a rise this year.
Yeah, I think so.
To the theaters.
Yeah.
So,
I'd agree with that.
He's marketing to the Gen Zers. And that's his generation. It's my generation.
The TikTok generation.
It's smart to do. I mean, we've got to pull in other generations if we want to have successful movies. But but it's the blossoming adults of the world right now. Millennials are already in adulthood, are already pretty much in their 30s plus. So it's the new media, the new people to advertise towards, and eventually we'll get to Gen Alpha and we'll see what that'll bring for us.
Well, let's see. I've got a Gen Alpha kid. Does she like to go to movies? Not. I have to drag her to stuff and all.
I know that's the problem. Is they're the YouTube TikTok generation.
They're the YouTube generation.
I'm YouTube myself, but I still enjoy going out and going to see a film personally.
Well, yeah, but I mean.
But I'm probably different. So
yeah, it's fair. Yeah, you're not watching the type of YouTube things that Gen Alpha is watching. Just a bunch of people yelling.
The future of the franchise for Avatar. There are supposedly 2 more films. We've talked that we don't know if Jim's actually going to do them. Jim seems to want to do some other things, but they are dated. Both of them have dates officially now. They just dated the 5th one recently. Was like 2031 or whatever. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I honestly think, and it's sort of a downer thing to say, but I honestly think that John Landau's passing sort of took the wind out of his sails a bit.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He was so instrumental in getting Avatar made.
Totally.
And it was such a good, they just had such a good rapport with each other.
Right.
It's unfortunate. He seemed like a good guy from all the stuff I've heard and read.
Oh yeah, film lover and like huge supporter of Jim and all film, and so I mean he's a huge loss to the community, but I think specifically for Jim, I'm like one of his best friends, close confidants, creative partner, that type of thing, and so
he just might not be jazzed to dive right back in, but the pre-production that's required for these movies would almost require that to hit that date for 4. And I just don't like in interviews right now, he's acting like he's not like, let me talk about this movie that's just out. I don't want to talk about 4, so, and that's understandable.
Yeah. I think he's gone a little far with it in some ways, but yeah, that one point.
Right. I mean, he's going to be James Cameron. He's going to say crazy things sometimes, but
I do hope that 4 gets made only because the reports that came out of Disney executives saying that they had 0 notes for it and that it was one of the greatest scripts they've ever read.
That's interesting.
Said that.
That's interesting. I mean, I know the promise is that we would eventually get to see Earth. And I would be interested in that. I mean, I think in my Letterboxd review, I was like, I never want to have to watch one of these again. I mean, that's not really true. I would go watch a 4th one if it came out. I mean,
it needs to be different.
It needs to be different. I'm kind of like spent on Pandora. Like, I don't know what more we could do on Pandora, but I also
like we've seen every tribe. So
it seems like we've seen a lot of it, or enough of it to be kind of done with it. So I don't know what we would be doing to get us back to Earth. I don't know. The only character mention is that Giovanni Ribisi's character mentions, what do you want me to go to the chairman? So there's somebody on Earth. Like, there's this corporation on Earth.
Yeah. And they seem to have a way to contact them. So
they seem to have, even though it's however many light years away. I mean,
they said it. I don't remember.
It was a big number.
Yeah.
It was a ridiculously big number.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that don't make sense, unfortunately, in the Avatar world. And by this 3rd one for me, ultimately, I had seen the spectacle so much that I needed a bit more, and I just didn't quite get that bit more that I needed. So overall, not a bad movie, though. I mean, it's not like I didn't enjoy watching the film. It just didn't go to the next level that I wanted it to. I felt like I had seen everything before that this movie had given to me. So
I recommend seeing it once on a big screen.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll leave it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. Well, I think we did it. I think we did episode 1's in the books.
Absolutely. What is episode 2? What is Tales from the Shelf?
Oh, okay. Are we going to do you want the first pick or do you want me to do the first pick? If I do the first pick, it's going to coincide surprisingly with something that you watched today.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm almost scared. You want to do Megalopolis?
No. So if I'm going by the order of my boutiques, Arrow is obviously, I go in alphabetical order on my boutique shelf. So we're going to start with Arrow. Like, my first pick was a movie that I bought, as you called, what did you call it? Like blind buy?
Yeah.
Because it was on sale. And I'm like, hey, I know that director. He directed something that Nicolas Cage was in. And this is his first film ever. Mike Figgis, who you watched Megadoc today. So Stormy Monday is the name of the movie.
Okay.
It's got Melanie Griffith and Tommy Lee Jones. It's not difficult to find, but you'd unfortunately have to watch it on Tubi if you wanted to watch it for free.
Okay.
But I've got the disc, so obviously I can watch the disc. But that was going to be my first pick. But if you want the first pick, then okay, we can go with, and it's just kismet. You happen to watch a Mike Figgis film today.
Yeah. It's interesting because he was talking about how he was a filmmaker, and I was like, I've never heard of this guy, but I enjoyed Megadoc.
His most famous is Leaving Las Vegas, the Nicolas Cage film. That's probably his most well known. But Stormy Monday sounds like a modern noir from the description of the film.
and a very young Melanie Griffith, younger Tommy Lee Jones, but Tommy Lee Jones looked the same for a very long time. He's one of those guys that looked old from the very beginning. And I love both those actors. Melanie Griffith, if you're unfamiliar with her daughter, is Dakota Johnson.
I'm familiar with her. I didn't know her daughter was Dakota Johnson, though. Okay.
Yeah, Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith produced Dakota Johnson. So that's the Nepo baby of Hollywood, which, gosh, Hollywood's always been that way. I got so annoyed when that term Nepo baby came into cachet.
Yeah.
That industry has been that way forever.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
I'm reading things like Oscar Wars and some other movie stuff, and that's always been the case you'd be surprised at the amount of people that are just born into the industry and work in it.
Exactly.
But that happens not just in the movie industry either.
No,
it happens all over the place. So
it does happen all over the place. So Stormy Monday. So that'll give our listeners like a week to, if you are interested in like following along with us as we go through our on the shelf picks, then Stormy Monday is a movie I'm going to watch this week and we will talk about next week. But also I figured we'd probably talk Marty Supreme next week also.
Sure.
If you're
absolutely.
Are you going to get a chance to see it, you think?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be huge.
And so I don't know how often we want to have guests on. If we want to do it once a month or how often.
I say we do it when we feel is best,
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Marty Supreme and Stormy Monday.
All right. Where can we find you on social media, Mikey?
I can be found on X at @TheMichaelNipp. I think I'm close to unlocking. Right now it's private. I'll unlock it since I'm going to be on a podcast again. I think I'll make it public again. But then if you want to see my movie stuff, it's @TheMichaelNipp on Letterboxd. That's like the best place to go. And then if you are interested in our much smaller group and much more insular group on Discord, you can email us at cinemadebriefpodcast@gmail.com. And I can send you a link to get onto our Discord. And the way Discord works, it's almost like those old like forums you used to go onto that had different topics. That's kind of like how if you're not familiar with what Discord is, it is a social media site, but it's private in the sense that only people that I allow on there are in there. And then we have like a movies, TV, sports, like there's all kinds of different channels that you can just talk about different subjects. So yeah, definitely email us if you're interested in being on the Discord. Garrison, where can we find you on the interwebs? You can find me on Twitter at or X, whatever you want to call it, at Gryfun3, Gryfun3. You can find me on Letterboxd at Gryfun. You can find our Twitter at Cinema Debrief, I believe, on X and Twitter and Instagram and on a few other sites. But I don't know how much we're going to be posting on every single site. But the email is cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com. Oh, my bad. Okay.
So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hit us up on social media, please. Like, I think that there's an Instagram account and a Twitter account, Twitter account.
I'm trying to post on there.
Is it just Cinema Debrief on both of those?
Yep.
Look us up on there. Follow us, please. We'll follow you back. Obviously, with this being the first episode of a new podcast, we're going to need all the help we can get to get the word out. So if you see the episode drop, please, review it on whatever podcatcher that you use. And that'll help us a ton. In the end, we're just doing this because we're fans of movies. It's a hobby for us. It's always been a hobby for me, but I wouldn't turn down money if we started making money somehow.
Netflix, do you want to buy our, we'll rail against you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to buy our podcast?
Netflix does that. Yeah, exactly. Netflix is getting into the podcast game or something like that, I heard, which is ridiculous. But we need to come out with a cool outro. So how about you have been debriefed. Now go watch a movie. I don't know. I do like just the idea of encouraging people to go see a movie. Whether you get out to the theater or watch it at home. If you've got Tubi, which it's free, you can watch, at least if you're going to watch one movie this week, why not make it Stormy Monday?
And shout out to Tubi. the most incredible streaming site out there. It's got genuine Hollywood classics.
It does, actually.
Foreign classics.
It really
both
does.
old and new. And then the most absolute trash you could find on a streaming service ever.
It has everything out there. And obviously you have to watch ads, which is a bit annoying to some. But an occasional ad for a free movie, I mean, you know, what more can you ask for? It's old school.
Yep. Well, we'll see you next week with Cinema Debrief.